Hi, guys. It's Sven from Badass Counseling. So we created the Badass Counseling group on Facebook, and it grew to well over 45,000 members. And we kept getting asked by folks for a support group, a growth group that's more intimate, gives more access to me, Sven, if possible. So the Badass Counseling team got together, and they created Community Plus. For a monthly fee that isn't cheap, you get direct access to me 2 times a month where you can submit your questions directly. Monthly drawings for a small group counseling session with me. Monthly drawings for one-on-one counseling sessions with me. Priority Pass access to go to the front of the waiting list for ongoing counseling with me. Priority Pass access to be considered to be counseled by me on the Badass Counseling Show podcast. Direct access to my top 2 selling video courses, Healing the Soul and Unleashing Your Greatness. Interviews with people who've had success in their soul journey, some well-known and some everyday folks like you and me. And a fantastic opportunity to meet and get to know other men and women who take their healing and growth seriously and who do the work. And a social community feed where folks share their challenges, their struggles, and their triumph. And so much more. So go now to badasscounseling.com. Click on the Community Plus sign-up page for premium content and direct access to me and to like-minded people who are committed to healing, growth, and creating a community of support and happiness.
From the New York City area, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, where the master badass himself, Sven Erlandson, takes you deep and gives balm for the soul, baby.
Well, hello, fine people. It is great to have you here. You have reached the Badass Counseling Show. My name is Sven Erlandson. I am the host of this show. Wherever you're tuning in from, are you tuning in from New Zealand? I wouldn't be surprised because we have so many listeners down under. It's great to have you here. We have so many listeners over in South Africa, all well below the equator in Brazil, South America, throughout the dark continent of Africa. We've got so many great listeners around the world, and they write into the show. We are so blessed to have you. We love the folks that follow this show, trying to do what we can, our little piece to help the world. I am joined by my team today. I have Casey, who is out of the booth joining us, but she is remote. She is joining us remotely. Casey, what say ye?
I say ye hello.
Is the sun shining where you are today, Casey?
No, the sun has gone down and is going down further.
I see. And so it is Betty by time for the sun where Casey is. And Rob, I know the sun is shining somewhat where you are. What say ye, Rob?
I'm always sunny and bright, as you know, Sven, but sometimes I too can be a little remote.
Any earworms this week, Rob?
Nope.
Really?
Just having some peace and serenity and a little more quiet than usual. I'll pick up the music next week, I'm sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I was on the way to the studio, and I had the satellite radio on, and on came that great 1980s Boston album came out, the Starship one, coming down to the UFO one, and a song on there that I'm sure I've heard, but dang, it was good to hear it again. Party.
You know, I don't know that one because as far as I'm concerned, there's no music that was ever made after 1978.
Oh, listen to you. You freaking 50s, 60s elitist.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, and indisputably great music back then. But see, I love all the music of the 70s, right?
You're right. I give up.
And of course, 1980, you know what? Great album. That album. And then, of course, Queen the Game came out in 1980.
Love that.
Great album. Rob, tell us, we've got 2 guests today. And we're going to take them separately. We have Averill, and we're going to do Averill second. And we have a gentleman who has a fascinating first name, but we are going to call him by his nickname. Nickname is Naz, but his name is Carnassus. Tell us about Carnassus.
I would be happy to, Sven. Naz wrote in and said, I'm 2 hours shy of 47 days sober. By sheer grit and love for my 3 kids. I haven't seen my family in that same time span because of a drunken fight with the wife. Misdemeanor and felony charges are pending. The CPS investigation has reason to believe the allegations are true. I am 100% scared of what's about to come my way. I've resorted to shoplifting to cope and contemplating self-mutilation to trade one passion for another, just to see if I care, if I bleed. I'm seeking the necessary help I need to get better. The VA has set me up with a whole health team and resources are at my disposal. First psychiatrist session is tomorrow. My whole story is one hell of a wild-ass ride, and out of this test is a powerful testimony. Death, arrests, and being absolutely fucking broke are just my past 3 months, but every story has a beginning, so buckle up.
Naz, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Sven.
Great to have you here. You mentioned CPS investigation has reason to believe the allegations are true. What specifically are the allegations we're talking about?
Felony bodily injury to a child, and part of that was the through the course of the argument / fight with the wife, I smacked the phone out of her hand, and it accidentally hit my son, little Naz Jr. over there.
Right.
And I would never ever do anything too purposefully or unintentionally hurt my children at all.
And how old's your son?
He's 6. He's
6.
Actually he's a twin.
Okay. And so it hit your son, and what was the effect?
A small red blemish above his above his right side.
Okay.
Above his right eye.
Okay.
But it was enough. I said just enough to be alerted to the authorities.
And so you're 100% scared of what's about to come my way. What is potentially about to come your way?
Felony charges as a pending prison sentence.
What would it likely be if that prison sentence came to be? What would the length of the prison sentence be?
I haven't delved into that much research, only because I'm optimistic that anything pre-trial will go my way. And
yet you're 100% scared. What's the scariest part?
Well, the scariest part is not having seen my kids, to be able to hold them and touch them and talk to them and to just love on them. But what's scary now is facing down a possible prison sentence.
And what is it you fear most about prison?
Even more so being cut off from my immediate family and then from my extended family.
Understood.
And
then what about actual being in prison itself? What do you fear most? I mean, that's a massive fear for most men.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's the biggest thing about prison that you fear most, apart from being cut off from family and your kids? Got it. But what is the biggest thing you fear about being in it?
The person who I would have to become in order to survive it. And the reason I say that is one of my very good buddies and co-workers, he did 5 years. I didn't know him going in or before he went in, but knowing what I do now, it's kind of a mix of both of those worlds, that he's still adjusting to non-prison life after, and then the stories that he tells me of who he had to become in order to survive.
And what one thing of who you would have to become in order to survive? What is the one thing you would potentially have to become that you most fear becoming?
Well, I'm a small man in stature, about 5'6", so I would have to become an animal akin to a honey badger.
And what is it about that? Why do you fear becoming that?
I don't know if I would be able to turn it off or want to turn it off, because I don't I don't mind a confrontation. I don't mind a fight. You know, I was a bartender for 15 years, and big old cowboy dudes, 6'2", 6'3", walking out with beers. I can't have that. I'd be held legally responsible if they did anything with that outside of the bar. So I walk up to them, smack it out of their hand, and say, "What are you going to do about it?"
Right on. And so, have you gotten in any trouble before in your life?
Oh yeah. There's been trouble. Ever since I was in the Air Force, and even before, almost everything was alcohol related, and uh, DUI in 2006. Bar fights upon bar fights upon bar fights. I almost died in a bar fight, as a matter of fact.
And so then in your
breaking up a fight.
And so then in your relationship with your wife and with your family, what fundamentally is the problem?
The lack of solid communication. My wife and I, we don't know how to talk to each other, and even the slightest remark is the biggest insult, intentionally or not.
And what is the biggest way that, from her perspective, you insult her? Regardless of whether or not you intend it, what is the biggest message that even in the slightest misstep, she receives it as what? In one sentence or less, what does she feel you are saying to her?
A touch of rebellion and condescension.
But what is it? What does she feel you're saying to her?
Oh no, is that she feels that I have that I always have to be right.
And by you always needing to be right, what's the message you're conveying to her about her?
Oh, I would assume that what she's saying or what she is adding to the conversation or bringing to the conversation doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything. And so let me ask you, when you're in a conversation with somebody, whether it's at work or a buddy, and they are treating you like what you say doesn't fucking matter, how does that feel? Give me a feeling word. How does it feel?
Frustrating.
It's frustrating because it makes you feel like what?
Less than.
Yeah.
Even though I do happen to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right.
For sure.
And so then when you say things, you get mad maybe because of something she said, and then you maybe, minimize what she's saying, or you talk over her or whatever, and then she feels like, hey, you're treating me like I'm a fucking idiot and that I'm less than, and you're the big shot and I'm less than. And then we know where it goes. Escalate, right? And all of a sudden.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's the single biggest thing you've ever done to hurt your wife's feelings, or to make her feel bad, or to make her feel afraid, or to make her feel small, or like a stupid little girl? What's the single biggest thing you've done? Not the single biggest thing that you felt bad for, the single biggest thing she felt bad for.
Be it out of spite or out of fairness, I asked her a question similar to what she had once asked me, or to a snide comment that she told me. There was a picket of a fence that was down, and she looked over at me and she said, maybe I should call my dad to come fix that. And so I responded back with, well, maybe I should call my mom to come fix me dinner. So,
oops.
I don't.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, if it was out of spite or if it was out of fairness, I don't know.
Right. And the fairness is you hurt me by insulting me, by assuming that I couldn't fix it. You got to call your dad to fix something. I'm a grown ass man. I can fix it. So you hurt me. So now I'm going to hurt you back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Now, let me ask, just in retrospect, let me ask, and maybe the answer is the same. I don't know. I'm just asking a straight question. Looking back on that, what do you wish you would have said?
Let me get on top of that real quick. Just
Why
easy
do you
peasy.
Why do you wish
Grab
you
my
why,
drill and some
why do you
screws.
wish you would have said that?
Because it would not have added fuel to the fire.
At this point in the taping, we lost contact with Naz. Tried to get him back, but were not successful. So after the break, we went on to the second guest that we had planned for the show, who had been listening to all that Naz had to say.
And right, we will have much more to come right after this short break.
You've heard Sven talk a lot about his book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup. And that's because Sven hears from his followers a lot about how much the book has helped them. If you're not sure how to handle the issues getting in the way of a better life, you're not alone. And you have a lot of choices. But thousands of readers will tell you that this is a great place to start, by yourself and at your own pace. So go to badasscounseling.com and order There's a Hole in My Love Cup, and you'll have Sven right there with you as you forge your best future. It's totally badass. So get started today.
This show provides soul counseling intended to entertain and inform and is not medical advice. Now, back to the badass.
And we are back with Naz, short for Carnassus. Naz, are you there? We're going to put a pin in it with Naz, and we're going to flip on over.
Good idea.
Rob, tell me about Averill.
Happy to, Sven. Averill wrote into us and said, I'm entering counseling at a time of major personal transition and reflection. I've been in deep therapy, including internal family systems, or IFS, for the past year and a half. And it's brought more meaningful growth than a decade of previous therapy, where everything was labeled great, but little changed. I'm newly menopausal, which has added emotional and physical layers to my self-exploration. I reunited with my now husband at 50 after nearly 30 years apart. We were extremely codependent in our 20s, and though we've now been married for 7 years, many of those old dynamics have resurfaced. While I've been doing deep inner work, my husband, who struggles with PTSD and severe emotional avoidance, has been spiraling. His alcoholism recently led to rehab. He is now 90 days sober. He's a good man at heart, but I feel emotionally starved in the relationship. He tends to be okay as long as I'm okay, which leaves me feeling unseen and unsupported. As I crystallize my values, I'm realizing that emotional depth and humor are non-negotiables for me. I can't create connection where it doesn't exist. I've grown in ways that make me question whether I can or should continue in a marriage that feels so emotionally one-sided. I'm seeking clarity, not just about the relationship, but about how to stay true to the self I've worked so hard to reclaim. I think I already intuitively know the answer, but I'm full of fear to make a decision.
Averill, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sven.
It's really nice to have you here. It's nice to have you here. I want to go ahead and dive right in. I want to start by asking you a weird start. What's going on inside of you right now?
I feel very tender and raw, especially listening to a bit of Naz's story.
Uh-huh.
Real similar to what I'm experiencing right now with my husband. I feel like I'm a little bit in protective mode, like raw and I don't know. Other than that, like I know something's about to crack open, and I'm afraid of what it is. You know.
Sure, and you are afraid of just feeling really afraid and really nervous and really raw. As you were listening to Naz's story,
yeah.
What were you feeling, or what jumped out at you? because there is a similarity in the two stories, very similar.
Yeah.
What jumped out? What were you feeling? What got conjured up?
I mean, you couldn't have matched the pair of us any better. The VA, the felony charges, the drinking, the anger, all of that. And I think just seeing that, he even looks a little bit like my husband. And so it was just like initially like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? And when I was listening to him speak, I was feeling, wow, I'm really tense right now.
You're doing fine. Take your time. There's no rush.
I think thank you. Your voice is very calming. I think at this point in my life, just freshly menopausal and things are getting clearer and clearer. Like, I am so done fixing men, like so done. But I love him and he's a good man.
Sure.
And yet I'm not going to abandon myself anymore. And that's what a year and a half of therapy has done for me, is like, what about me finally?
Well, let me ask you about that. Okay, you mentioned how this year and a half of therapy has been quite transitional for you and helpful and different from past therapy. What would you say, just very, very briefly, in this therapy that you've done this last year and a half, what was really the biggest epiphany of it all? I'm sure there were many. What was the biggest epiphany, or what was the single biggest sort of pivotal moment that, like, wow, holy shit?
Like so many, but I'm done abandoning myself. I heard Rob say a couple of sessions ago when you were just talking that he's a fixer. He's a fixer, and he picks the broken people. That's been me my whole life. And let's look over there, so I don't have to look at me. And when I finally looked at me and made myself important, like fixing other people or attending to their needs and abandoning my own became really, really uninteresting and off-putting. So I don't know if I answered that question.
No,
but that's
you
what came out of
absolutely
therapy.
did. And what was the price? Sum it all up in one sentence. What was the price that you paid for all the fixing you tried to do? What did it cost you?
Oh, it cost me 30 years of what ifs, and I married emotionally absent men, just like my father was, and I stayed external for everything, and I never went internal and really, really looked at me. I didn't know what my values were. I didn't know what I needed. I didn't know what my purpose was, and I think I just reached this pinnacle of like, that's all really, 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 really important to me all of a sudden. And yet I love him, and yet he's got good qualities, and yet I don't want to hurt him.
Understood.
But not at my expense anymore. So it's a hard one.
Yep. And in 30 plus years of counseling people, one of the common themes in divorce is that they still love the person. When I had to divorce one of my wives, and had to, in terms of to honor my own soul, I knew I had to divorce her because it was just explosive and it wasn't working. And it's just like, I loved her so much. I really did. But I had to. It just wasn't going anywhere, and it wasn't going to go anywhere. And it's just like, and I didn't want to hurt her. And I had kids by a previous marriage, and it's just like, they loved her. They thought she was the greatest. My family adored her. But it's just like, I had to, for my own soul. And thank God I did, because the relationship, and then I had like 10 years of no relationship. Yeah, I dated some and so forth, but then this relationship I've been in recently has been, over the last 11 years, has been just balm to my soul. It has been the very essence of who I am, and just breathes so much life into me. In fact, one of our songs, if not our song that we share, is Bob Dylan's Shelter from the Storm.
Nice.
Shelter, right? Beautiful. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. And I think I've been that for her, she would say, and she's definitely been that for me. And so, yes, but what precedes that is my choosing to no longer choose the storm. It's the choosing of self, the fucking serenity, the fucking calm of, I just want a port where I am not responsible for fuck, and the storms of fixing someone else. Fuck that. Fuck me.
Yeah. He's got so many good qualities. That's stable and loyal and would never cheat and solid and a good person. And
But
he gives me just enough growth to keep me wondering and waiting. He does just enough for me to go, oh maybe. He's listened to you, and I told him I was going on the show, and he says he's going to tell you to leave me. And my head just went, no, I don't think he will.
No.
I don't think he will. That's not what Sven does. But like he knows I'm what do you call it? Like going down another path, and I don't think he's keeping up. And
see, the thing is I don't tell anyone to do anything.
no,
The
I know.
the essence of it isn't what I think. My goal is to you've got enough fucking voices inside of you. My goal is to extract the other voices, be it fear of hurting him, be it what your parents would think, be it this or be it that. My goal is simply to help you hear your voice.
Yeah.
The fucking problem is that you've had all these other voices. I'm not going to put mine in there. I'm going to help you find your voice and identify those things which are not your voice. Right. Okay. So back to it then. I noticed in your write-up, I want to read a little snippet from your write-up. You said, he's a good man at heart, but I feel emotionally starved in the relationship. Okay. I feel emotionally starved in the relationship. And I know a whole lot of our listeners can identify with that. And then you go on to say, I'm realizing that emotional depth and humor are non-negotiables for me. I can't create connection where it doesn't exist. Okay. So you say, but I feel emotionally starved. And then you go on to say, I'm realizing that emotional depth and humor are non-negotiables. Do you have emotional depth with your husband? Yes or no?
100% no.
Do you have humor with your husband? Yes or no?
He thinks so. I do not.
Okay. So you have just said they are non-negotiables. You have then said, I do not have them. Therefore, you have already answered your own question. My work's done here, Rob. Let's end the show. Sew that bitch up in 40 minutes.
But I am stuck right there. Like I know in my gut that's where I'm at.
Exactly.
And I'm also like, but I could stay and just be okay.
You could. You've mastered how to eat, how to just make do with little nibbles, right? As I talk about in the book, the love camel. I'll give you everything. Just give me a little bit of love in return. Just recently, I did a video on social media on the difference between, one of the biggest questions that you can answer for yourself in your relationship life, perhaps the single biggest question that you have to answer is, am I getting glimpses or patterns? Is the action, the love, the kindness, or whatever that I'm getting, is it a glimpse or is it a pattern?
Yeah, and I have to say, those 7 years together where I was ill and not really working on it, and he was ill, and we played the perfect dance of codependent and alcoholic, and it worked, and I fixed, and he acted up, and I nurtured, and he acted up, and that was perfect. And then when I've leaned into like I'm just rocket fueled growing, that became completely uninteresting to me and no longer serves me. So I'm super uncomfortable right now.
And so the love that you say he gives me little bites
of depth.
So are you getting glimpses of love, or are you getting patterns?
That's what I don't know, because he's in his own therapy. He's working on himself in little bits and spurts, and they're way slower than mine. And so I'm watching.
How long has he been in therapy?
Well, 4 years. But,
4 years. And in 4 years, let me ask you this. And in 4 years, 4 years ago, what percent were you actually receiving love from him? What percent? Give me a percent on 0 to 100%. What percent amount of love were you receiving from him 4 years ago?
I don't think it's the love that's the problem. 80%, 90% love, but interaction and emotional intelligence and depth and conversation and intellectual stimulation. No,
but
not
that's
very
how
much.
you define. Well, then what the fuck are you talking about? If you're not getting those, then what do you define as love? If it's not that,
he cares about me.
How is that exhibited? He's not giving you intellectual stimulation. He's not giving you humor. He's not giving you emotional depth. How is love being conveyed then? You're saying to me, those are your non-negotiables. That's how I receive love. But you're saying, oh my God, he's giving me love 80 or 90%. How? In what form?
That's what's so skewed. I love you. You're beautiful. You're the best woman ever.
Okay, so you're getting words. Yeah. You're getting words.
Words. And I'm getting, he's a hard worker and a good provider, and I see him trying.
Do you have kids?
Separate and grown.
Separate and grown. Let me ask you this. If you two were to divorce, would your husband work and work hard?
Yes.
Oh, so the work has nothing to do with you.
He defines that as love.
I'm asking you, would he work hard? Because you just said that him working hard is exhibit that he loves you. And I'm just asking, so if you weren't in the picture, would he still work hard? And you just said yes. So the work has nothing to do with you being there because he'd work hard even if you weren't there. So Correct. It's not a form of love to you. It's just what he does. I'm trying to figure out how does he show love other than, because you said all these things you want, you're not getting. And I said, well, and you said, but he loves me 80 to 90%. And I said, how? And you said, well, he tells me he loves me and I'm beautiful. And da, 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 da. Oh, so he has lots of words.
He's a people pleaser. He does anything I want. And
no, he doesn't. What a crock of shit. He doesn't do anything you want.
Well, okay. You calling me out. As in household tasks and let me get that for
nice.
You.
Nice. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. You know what? I got a gal, Suzanne. I pay her $170 every 3 weeks, and she comes over and she cleans, and Suzanne fucking rocks that shit. My house is the best. So you have a Suzanne.
I see what you're doing.
And what am I doing? You want love in a certain area. You're not in massive shit that you say are non-negotiables. You say you want it in these areas. He doesn't give it. And yet you're claiming you're feeling loved. Wait a minute. No. You didn't say that though, did you? You say you're getting love, but
the way he knows how to show it. The way he knows how to show it.
Right. But in the end, that's irrelevant.
Yeah. And I say all the time, it's not enough.
Because he's not showing it in ways you actually feel it. Right. So I'm responsible in a relationship. I'm responsible for showing love in ways that my love feels it. My lover feels it. What % of you feels loved by him?
In ways that make a difference to me.
That make you feel loved? What % do you feel loved by him?
Well, it's a shitty number, like 30.
Okay. Why did you say, well, it's a shitty number? Almost as if you didn't want to say it.
Because that's a hard realization.
Now, let me ask you this question. 30%. It's a hard realization. What's the hardest part about the realization that he only makes you feel 30% loved? What's the hardest part about that?
It's not fucking enough for me.
It's not enough for me. That's right. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this question. You have made it very clear that most of your relationship, I believe you've said, has been about meeting his needs. You've made it very clear that he's a good man and he has a good heart, and you fear divorcing him because in part it would hurt his feelings and so forth. I believe that's roughly what you've said. Ballpark? Mm-hmm. Right. So is it possible that even in the number of 30%, is it possible there might be a more accurate number, that maybe you're afraid to give a more accurate number because you don't want to say it because it might hurt his feelings, or you would feel bad even saying it, even knowing he may never know it? If there were a more accurate number, what would be the most accurate number you could choose of how much he actually really makes you feel loved? If you're to be totally honest.
What came to mind, I could back it off to 20 or 15%.
So give me the most accurate number. You said 20 or 15. What is the absolute most accurate number he makes you feel loved, no matter how uncomfortable it makes you feel? Do you want the truth or not? What is the truth, regardless of how it makes you feel? What's the fucking truth? You can do it. You're doing great.
There's a big block coming up and resisting saying that number.
Yeah, it's a scary fucking number. That tells me it's scary, and I know it's scary. I'm here. I got you. What's the number?
I mean, I like 11%.
11%.
Mm-hmm.
And say 11's a beautiful number.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, I just want to, just as a point of clarification, what is the fundamental reason in one sentence or less? Nothing wrong with it, but I'm just curious. What's the fundamental reason you initially said 30% when the real truth was 11%?
Oh,
I'm not scolding. I'm just curious.
because my pattern and my tendency to nurture and fix, I see him trying.
Sure.
I know that's how he's showing me love.
Sure.
I know he's got emotional goo inside of him. I see it slightly here and there.
Sure.
And so I think I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, like he is trying to love me the best way he knows.
And indeed, and yet your truth
Yeah.
is 11. And it's possible that tomorrow morning you'll wake up and you'll say, fuck, actually it's 27. Or you may wake up tomorrow.
Yes, and it does that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But and so what we have to do is that it oscillates, right? Some days it's this, some days. So what we have to do is sort of zoom out and say, yes, but what's sort of the larger picture of this period of my life or over the course of the relationship? So let's just zoom out a second. Let's just randomly say the last 10 years, what percent? Is it 11? Is it 13? Is it 89? Is it 4? What percent, if you were to be completely honest, no matter how yucky it makes you feel inside, what percent do you feel loved by your husband?
We've only been together 7 years and
So
ill 6 of them. So, gosh, I'll stay at 10
10. That's
for the
fair.
long haul.
That's fair. 10% over the long haul. So that says that there has been an uptick of 1%, likely in the last year and a half since he's been doing therapy, which is actually, if the overall number is 10, to be up 1% is a 10% increase. Hey, if I could get a 10% return on my investments, that's a pretty good year in investments. But to know I'm only feeling loved 10% in a relationship that I've been in 7 years, I have no doubt.
That's hard to say.
What's the hardest part about it? What does it make you feel? Give me a feeling word that it most makes you feel. Give me a feeling word.
I mean, you know what sucks about this? I'm more concerned about his feelings.
I know.
I'm more
So
concerned
what does it make you feel? Give me a feeling word. Guilt? Shame? What's the feel? Frustration, anger, betrayal? What do you feel?
I feel stuck. I feel really resistant. Those aren't feeling words.
Sure, they are. Sure.
Are
You're
they
doing great.
stuck?
Keep going. Stuck, resistant. What else are you feeling? As you say the number 10%, what do you feel? That you feel 10% loved by your husband?
I feel very sad, and I also feel angry and shame and regret at myself for wasting the good portion of my life.
Listen to you. You found another opportunity to be mean to yourself. So congratulations on that. I'll bet over the course of your lifetime, you have a lot of experience doing that, don't you? Isn't that the fucking problem to begin with?
100%.
Right. One more way to beat yourself up. And here we are on the cusp of you even having the brass balls to admit you're in a relationship where you don't feel loved. And for you to say that, to be so audacious as to say that you have feelings and that I don't feel loved. Who are you to have feelings? Who are you to matter enough to even consider leaving a relationship? Who are you?
I stay way past the due date for sure.
And so let me ask you, what's the very earliest in your life you got the message that your voice does not matter?
Right.
What's the very earliest in your life you got that or some derivative of that?
Yeah, normal childhood at age 10, pulled the rug out and got no input. Not you're good, not you're bad, nothing. Just piss off and we're going to work and have affairs and raise yourself. And so at age 10, I just decided I needed to take care of my dad's emotions, and it stuck right there throughout the rest of my life.
And the reason you had to take care of his emotions was if you didn't, what would happen?
My mom would eat him alive, and I couldn't stand that.
So you had to protect your dad from your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So fundamentally, your dad was a fucking coward.
In a sense.
Well, come on. If you're having to protect him, he's hiding in the foxhole while you're going out taking her fucking bullets. So the one fucking thing, if you're an old school guy, old school, the one thing at the very least that the man does is protect his fucking family, protect his children. The one fucking thing he couldn't even get, it's not even he couldn't get that right. He chose not to. He chose to let you eat shit and serve him. Serve him. Does that sound familiar? What have you been doing in your marriage?
Yeah, same thing. I married my dad. The no depth surface works hard.
Right. What do you hate the most about your mom such that you felt the need to protect your dad from her?
Well, she cheated on him. She broke our family up. She was aggressive and critical. And
so what percent do you most fear being like your mother?
Oh, that's been coming out in therapy. Like, I was my mother until I said, no. I picked the perfect partner to correct and nurture and
all right,
fix.
So answer my question. So what percent as of right now today do you fear being like your mother or being called you are like your mother?
Jesus, like 97%.
Right.
You know.
That's right. So
Yes,
so your mom owns you in reverse, upside down way. You're just trying to not be her. And what is the single biggest characteristic about your mother that you hate the most?
Oh, she's critical. Something's wrong with you.
I see. And do you tend to be just the opposite?
I am 100% the opposite with how I raised my daughter.
Right.
And I'm very critical with my spouse until I stopped, in this therapy. Those 6 years of always picking on him, telling him what he needed to fix and change. And that was my nurturing and fixing mode. And it was horrible.
All right.
I don't want to do it anymore.
All right. And so one of the things you said in your write-up, this is sort of the final point I want to make here or ask about. Mm-hmm. You said, I can't create connection where it doesn't exist. I've grown in ways that make me question whether I can or should continue in a marriage that feels so emotionally one-sided. I can't create connection where it doesn't exist. You've already said that emotional depth and humor are non-negotiables and that those are not present in the relationship. So your non-negotiables are already gone. So it's already answered. But then you go on to say, I can't create connection where it doesn't exist. You're feeling loved by your husband 10%, and you don't have connection and can't create it where it doesn't exist. It's interesting as a little side note. In Roman Catholic theology, I studied 2.5 years at a Roman Catholic seminary in my preparation for Lutheran ministry. And one of the things in Roman Catholic theology, when it comes to the Eucharist, that the reason that they do not engage in the Eucharist or communion with non-Catholics is fundamentally the exact same reason. We do not presume unity. We do not presume brotherhood where brotherhood does not exist. We do not presume, we're not going to pretend to have unity where it doesn't exist. You're saying that exact same thing right now. I can't create a connection where it doesn't exist. I've tried. And you're saying, I've grown in ways that make me question whether I can or should continue. You've got all this evidence. I can't create a connection. A connection doesn't exist. I 10% feel loved by him, and my non-negotiables aren't being met.
It is that camel thing.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No.
No.
More than that?
You're terrified.
A little bit.
You're terrified. Okay. So let me ask you, final question. What is the single biggest fear you have in walking away from your husband and ending this relationship? What is, in one sentence or less, what is the single biggest fear?
Sounds stupid as I'm saying it. I'm going to devastate him. Number one is what come up. And I'm not going to find anything better, which I think is stupid as it comes out of my mouth.
You don't have to find yet another way to put yourself down. If you want to do that,
this is as good as it gets.
If you want to do that in your time, put yourself down. That's your business. On my show, I'm not going to let you put yourself down anymore. Okay? Yeah. It doesn't sound stupid. In fact, you would be shocked How many people on my show, how many people I counsel, that is their exact fear of hurting their spouse, fear of hurting the ones that they love, fear of hurting anyone, and that and fear of sounding stupid and all those things. That is so common in divorce. It is very common, all right? And so no need to put yourself down, and fear that you will devastate him. And it might. And this is the thing. I get people coming to me all the time saying, Sven, I just can't stay in this marriage, but I fear hurting my kids, or I fear hurting my spouse. And in the end, what you are fundamentally having to choose is to choose against the very story of your entire life. That your voice doesn't matter. You don't matter. And so you're about to choose yourself, knowing it's going to hurt other people. Yep, it is. It's going to hurt him. It is. But in the end, divorce is choosing it anyway, because I matter. And it's also knowing, guess what? He's a big boy and he'll recover. And if he doesn't, in the end, it's not your fucking problem. He's a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
He's a grown-ass man. You've done everything you answer one question. Have you done everything in your power to show this man love? Yes or no?
Yes. There's a small percentage of me that thinks he's going to rise up.
Okay. Then the truth is, maybe you need to hang on for a little longer and do more. That's okay. It's not time yet. But eventually the pain's going to get bad enough. Your pain hasn't gotten bad enough, and you still have the fear of devastating him. In other words, his feelings are still more important than your feelings. And mom's voice inside of you, or your fear of being like mom, and all these things, all these other people still fucking own you. And at some point, your pain's going to get bad enough where you're simply going to reach the fuck it point. As I talk about in my book, there's a hole in my love cup where you just say, fuck it. I know what I got to do. It's time. I'm sick of this shit. And if you want to keep holding on, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not time yet. It's okay. What are you feeling right now, Averill?
A little numb, a little disassociated. I think that part of that internal family systems works where my parts come in to protect me, and this, it diminishes truth like this. It stuffs it in the corner. I don't know how better to explain that. It's like,
give me a feeling word.
I kind of numb out when it gets real like this.
Right. Yeah. It's overwhelming, all these feelings. And if you were feeling a feeling right now, what might you be feeling right now? A little bit of, a teeny bit of.
I don't know if this is a feeling word. Truth and integrity. It feels correct in my body, what we're saying, what I are.
And do you like how truth and integrity feel in your body?
Yes.
All right. And they make you feel what? If you like how they feel, that's sort of a happy feeling, or does it make you feel angry? Does it make you feel
solid and knowing? And right up alongside of it is fear and apprehension, and they're all kind of dancing together.
Sure. Yeah. Are you a roller coaster person? Do you like riding roller coasters?
I think I used to. I don't know about anymore, but yeah.
Fair. I don't go to amusement parks a lot, but I like roller coasters. Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing about roller coasters, though, is I'm enough of a dumbass that I actually get on them. Even though, what is it? That initial tick, 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 when you're going up that first big fucking hill where you have to get all the momentum, and that machine goes tick, tick, tick. And with every tick, my heart's beating faster. With every tick, I'm seeing how high we are, and I am so afraid of heights. I don't mind flying, but heights in a little fucking thing where I'm just strapped in with this fucking thing over my shoulders, and I'm like, I'm too heavy for this thing. I know it's going to break. I know I'm going to go flying and smash my head in death and whatever. And tick, 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 tick. And I'm terrified out of my shorts, right? But the fucked up thing is what's ahead is exciting, right? But I'm terrified. The most fucked up part is I chose it anyway. I knew what I was in for. Okay, this is the path of the entrepreneur. This is the path of knowing our purpose, knowing what's next. This is the path of divorce when we know we got to do it, when the time is right. It's scary as fuck. You're not going to get a divorce and it's not going to be scary. That's asinine. You're going to be scared. And if you're not, no way. I don't buy it. No, you're going to be scared. But you still bought the ticket and said, it's time. It's time.
I'm still waiting for that absolute
It's not time yet. It's not time yet. Your pain hasn't gotten bad enough. Bottom line, change will not occur until the pain gets bad enough. And you don't have to do a damn thing. There's literally no angst. There's no thinking. There's no wrangling that you have to do over it. There's nothing. Just keep living.
It feels like plenty of angst and plenty of inner conflict, and I wrestle with it all the time.
And you can do the wrestling, but I'm just saying you don't have to do the wrestling, because all that's going to happen, this cancer is not going to get smaller magically. These problems aren't going to magically go away. It's going to increase to the point where your own system can't stand it anymore. I want to go over to KC here. KC, you got a question?
I think you're ready to fly. Like, I think you're just ready to live a different life than the one that you're living. I think you're ready to live a different life. And I just wanted to tell you one thing that helped me in my divorce. And that is that I kept thinking that when my husband and I divorced, that would be the end of our love, that we would just not, I'd have to stop loving him in order to move on from this. And he was going to stop loving me. And I think that the one thought and realization that allowed me to finally let go was that our story wouldn't be over with our divorce. We would still, at some point, be able to be friends. And that the love, even if we weren't friends, even if we never spoke to each other again, our love for each other would not be dead with the ending of our relationship. And I think that thought might actually help you let go, because I think you do still love your husband. You guys are just not right anymore for each other romantically and as partners. But there's a lot of love there. We can feel it. We can hear it in your stories and the things that you're saying. And so my only advice to you is stop trying so hard to let go of the love and just realize that the relationship might be over, even if the love still persists.
And you're still friends with your ex, Casey, and you guys still see each other.
Best friends. We see each other all the time. Sometimes he comes and stays with me. He's sort of a vagabond, and when he's in between apartments, he comes to live with me. Which could never have happened right away. Like, he actually was the one that was leaving me, but I just couldn't let go.
But your partner is buddies with him. I mean, they get along fine, and there's no.
Yep. It's all one big happy family.
Which is a little weird, but it works.
It's a little weird, but just to let you know that, the ending of relationship comes in many different ways, and you have a lot of love for your ex, and it sounds like he has a lot of love in his own way for you, and you guys don't have to let go of that in order to move on.
And I've got one assignment for you, Averill. I want you to write a love letter that you do not send. More than one, actually, that you do not send to your husband. Do not give it to him. He'll never see it, because then you'll fucking edit it. No, how will this affect him? And what I want you to focus on is how much you love him, how much you miss the husband that you hoped he would be, how much you wished he would have risen up and given you the love you wanted. All the feelings of love I want you to pour out, because the thing that's keeping you stuck with him is the love. It's not the anger. It's not anything else. It's the love. And so just keep flushing that out, journaling, but especially writing him love letters that you do not give to him. Nothing's gained by giving it to him.
I don't know if you can remember the quote from that movie, which is sort of like the book that you recommend to everybody. Where Eat, Pray, Love, the quote from Eat, Pray, Love, where he says something like,
I love you.
But I love you. Yeah.
And
Can you remember
says,
that quote?
And that.
And she says, so just keep loving me.
So just love me. Right. Even though they're ending their relationship, he says, but I love you. And she says, so love me.
And then let it go.
And just let it, but let it come, trusting that as you let it come, it will naturally release. It's when we resist it. What we resist persists. So just let it come, let it come, let it come. And when it's done, it'll be done. And you can facilitate, welcome those feelings of love. Welcome the lust, the longing, the missing. Welcome it and let it pass through you in writing letters. Those trains, let those trains into the station. Trains were not meant to rest in the station, but to let people off, let people on, and to leave the station. But you need to write the letters of love to him and then see what happens. Nothing's going to be harmed. You're not giving them to him. Any final thoughts or questions, Averill?
I think the final thought is, just listening to that last bit was he thinks love is enough, and I know it's not. It's not enough.
Well, especially when you're only getting it for 10%.
Right.
It's not that love's not enough. It's you're not getting enough of it.
10%. That's a hard realization. So yeah, I have written a letter to him, but it's time for another iteration of that, different level, different point of view.
And more. And keep writing it. Keep flushing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on to the show, Averill. You've been a treat and you've been so honest.
Thank you.
I respect that. That took courage.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming on to the show. And that's all we've got time for. KC, thank you so much. Rob, any final thoughts?
I care about every single person who's ever been on our show. But I have to say, honestly, I've never felt more compassion than I feel for Averill right now. And some of it is the commonality of experience, and some of it is, as hard as it is for her, I think I probably had it harder, which is why I assumed the fetal position on the floor in the middle of the show today. You may have noticed that. Maybe it distracted you. Maybe it didn't.
No.
But Averill, it's a cliche. I feel your pain. I know how you feel. But you know what? I can feel your pain, and I know exactly how you feel, and you're going to be okay.
Rob pushed through. He pushed through, and he did the work to flush out the pain and the fear and the anger and the bullshit beliefs at the core of his inaction and the core of what kept him stuck in old Rob. And now he's finding new loves and new relationships and new happiness and new sense of self, greater connection with his own children, grandson, etc. And so there is new life, but it requires the willingness to just allow all the feelings to pass through. And you said, final thought in your write-up, you said, but how do I stay true to myself that I've worked so hard to reclaim? The way you stay true to yourself is to make decisions consistent with who you really are. It's in those decisions. You already know who you are. You already know what you want, even though it's scary and uncomfortable. Now, with each, even a little decision and a little one, you are in that action confirming the underlying message, I matter. Thank you so much for being on the show, Averill. You've been great. And on behalf of my production team, to all of you listening to the Badass Counseling Show, thank you so much and have a kick-ass day.
The Badass Counseling Show is strictly copyrighted. No copies may be made without the express written consent of the Badass Counseling Show, LLC. The Badass Counseling Show is produced by Karen Camparelli and Robert H. Friedman. Executive producer Sven Erlandson. Original music by two-time Emmy Award-winning composer Trevor Morris. Have a kick-ass day.